Daytona. Everybody ready, set, go. Rev it up and let's roll. There's a party in the fast lane. Got my hands on the wheel and I'm flying. Heartbeat loud as the thunder rolls. Riding in on the stampede of lightning. I'm bringing back the sunshine. Bringing back the sunshine. Baby, it's about time. Oh, bring it back. Oh,
yeah. Hello, everybody, and welcome to East St. Louis at Worldwide Technology Raceway. It's the Enjoy Illinois 300, but not more importantly, it's the in-season tournament finale. I'm here inside the booth alongside Jordan Giffen, the chaos coordinator, as he likes to say, at Aaron Giffen Racing. Jordan, how are you doing today?
Not too bad. Excited to be in the booth tonight.
Absolutely. Well, with your role as the chief executive officer at Aaron Giffen Racing, you guys have had quite a strong run to this season, but more importantly, we have 42 cars in this field, but all eyes are going to be on the two drivers that are in this in-season tournament finale here. 6 rounds coming down to this one final run. Christian Visconti won last week at COTA, his first career win, but let's take a look at how we got here. Ian McDaniel looked like he had a promising run, got shunted off not once but twice. It's going to give Chase Gibbons no front end, no problem. Chase Gibbons, the Cinderella run continues. He's going to be facing off against the 83 who defeated Jeremy Mead after going one lap down. The 83 had issues of his own, having to battle through the field, knocking out his radiator. No issue. Santiago Nicolas hopes for a clean and solid run here. 1 win, 10.2 average finish in the in-season tournament. It all comes down to this here, Jordan, the 14 versus 83. These two have been, honestly, on a roll throughout the last 5 races.
Yeah, it's been really cool to see, especially Chase's Cinderella run that he's been having. That seems like he's faced a ton of adversity, and he's just been able to battle through it every single round.
Absolutely. We have 80 laps on tap here. What are our keys to the race so far for tonight's race?
Just gotta be careful going into 1 and 2 in that first green flag lap. You can get butter except for 4. Turns 3 and 4 are a little bit wider, so not as much of a hazard, but you never know with these guys out on the track, and that's why we've had a few torn up cars before. Gotta see who can save with the fuel run. It's about 30-35 laps, so the guys that can save are really going to be able to take advantage of that. And this is a track that we've been able to see some pretty decent green flag runs, but we've also seen it turn into chaos with cautions breaking cautions.
Absolutely. Last season, as you mentioned, we did see quite a few green flag runs that did prolong the race, but also had a few cautions near the end of the race. Let's hop into our starting lineup, though, for today. Row number 1 sees Ian McDaniel fresh off of a stinging loss and Brayson Collins. Row 2, Eris Hugo and Reed Simpson. Row number 3 is going to have Riley Gorse and Jerry Chet. Row 4, Richard Fridge and Kyle Mabey making up that spot in the field. Row 5 sees Zachary Ponce and Justin Haley. Cars firing up as we're going to get set to roll off here. The hometown kid, Robbie Gordoff, and Alexander Rowe in row 6. Row 7 is going to have Jordan Madron and Strogie Banger. Braden Sigafus and Christian Visconti take up row 8. Row 9, Kaz Gralla and in-season tournament contender Chase Gibbons. Right next to each other is Santiago Nicolas in row 10 and last year's winner here, Christopher Marnell. Ricardo Garcia and Logan Williams make up row 11. Williams has had a lot of success here but no wins yet. Lilly and Lamar in row 12. 13, Henry Guo and Tyler Cook. Row 14 sees Jeremy Mead and Joe Kraus in the 26. Row 15 is going to move forwards Nathan Stapleton and Blake Walker. Michael Guthrie and Desquarius Greenhouse Jr., 2 forwards in row 16. Row 17, Sean McKean and Quinton Haley. Row number 18 moves forward Matthew Fastnot and Aaron Giffen. Row number 19, we're going to move forwards to Carson Green and Anthony Foss. Back half of the field now, row 20, Ryan Barone and Stephen Cullen. And rounding out our field, Cam Arrow and Ethan Harrison. 80 laps on tap here at Gateway, a fan favorite track. The 4th time we've been here, Jordan. It's going to be a good one as Ian McDaniel, Brayson Collins line them up, creeping down towards turn 1. Slowly waiting for the green flag. There we go. Off and away we go. Ian McDaniel takes him down to turn 1.
As you see Ian coming down in turn 1, he's able to kind of clear the 5 of Brayson Collins. They span out 3 wide already. Coming down the backstretch, they're all kind of figuring out where they're going to fall in as the top 2 start to pull away.
A little bit of movement there in the back. We saw Blake Walker as we see the field fly by here at full speed for probably the first time here today. Top 3 Fords. Jordan, you got a little bit more on that? Fords have been really dominating here on the speed charts this weekend.
Yeah, so I think Chevy and the Dodge and Toyota were a little surprised that all the Fords were top 5 in practice. I know Gary Chen had a really strong run out there, and as we got a
teammates. That's teammates. Cam Arrow, Carson Green. We stayed green here. We'll have to get back to that key thought here in a second. Let's take a look at this replay. It looks like they just ran out of room coming out of turn 2. Big, massive impact for the side and rear of the 40 of Carson Green. They're going to have to come down pit road and make some extended repairs. As looks like we have a battle for the lead. The 52 of Desquarius Greenhouse Jr. had to come down pit road with a vibration, came out right in front of the leaders. That's going to hand the lead over to the 60 of Riley Gorse. Already a lead change and kind of by force, but still top 3 are Fords here, but it's a new Ford out in front, Riley Gorse and both.
And that's such a tough break because when those lap cars get in front, you really hope for them to kind of take their own lane and get themselves out of the battle for the lead, but that just didn't happen with this one.
The lone Chevy in this top 6 right now is Richard Fridge. Jerry Chen, the 53, just the back of this top 5, was fastest in practice, but a lot of Fords up front here early on, and as you were mentioning earlier before we got rudely interrupted by teammates coming together, it seems like they've been dominating the speed charts as of recent, especially as we're going to go on board with another Ford, the 97 of Jeremy Mead.
Yeah, looks like the Fords they're just able to dive down in the corner a little bit as we see the 33 top the wall coming out too. It just seems like they're able to kind of move around more and get a little bit deeper in the braking zone.
Absolutely. It looks like Mead is 3 wide here. That's Santiago Nicholas currently battling for about 18th place. Chase Gibbons for 25th. You see on the top of the screen on lap 6 of 80 here. Santiago Nicholas now moving down to 21st. Falling back a little bit now. Gibbons is starting to reel his way in. But we saw last week, we thought it was Ian McDaniel's for the taking to get into this championship battle against Chase Gibbons, and then two incidents that sent McDaniel around both times in turn 12. The second one sending him to pit road for prolonged repairs. But Chase Gibbons, the Cinderella shoe, the Cinderella slipper, still fitting for that 14 car. That's a long 80 laps here at Gateway, and it's a long time for Chase Gibbons to kind of methodically work his way around this track. One that he started and finished within tried to start and finish within the top 20 here last season, but unfortunately got caught up in an incident. Here's Greenhouse, the 52, as we mentioned, had to pit due to a vibration early. Jordan, you know that just kills your day. This 52 is looking pretty fast, honestly. He's staying competent and fast with the leaders, but already a lap down, just not what you want to see from that group.
Yeah, it's just a tough start to the day for them. That not even 5 laps in, you have to come down for a vibration. But the good thing is, even if there's a yellow, they're the only car on a lap down right now, so they would be able to get that lap back and get back in the running if it's not too late in the race.
Absolutely. As the 53 of Jerry Chen bounces off the wall. Jerry Chen, as we mentioned earlier, fastest in practice. The 23, last year's winner, Christopher Marnell, also bouncing off the wall. 23 is leading points, is probably our title favorite as of right now, but he's been struggling as of recent. Jordan, how have you been making out to see this?
It's kind of weird to see that the team that's been so consistently good at the start of the year, all of a sudden, it just seems like they're falling off a cliff, and they just keep making mistakes. It seems like that they can have a good run, and it's either driver error or pit crew error, or they just have bad luck and they get caught up in the stuff. It's just one of those things where you feel like you're having such a good season, and then it just starts to fall apart, and it feels like you can't do anything about it.
And also, not to mention, that's just with the 23. But if you mention the CRT as a whole, Garrett Lamar has had a race or two fall through his hands because of faulty pit stops or just losing the lead at the closing laps. The 33 of Robbie Gordoff had a stretch where he led the most amount of laps in like the first 5 races or so, didn't come through with a win. So a lot of these guys, Marnell and Lamar are up front and have wins, 2 wins to both of their names. But for the rest of CRT, and really right now, the team has kind of been missing a step here. It seems like the struggles are all coming down at once for what seems like the team favorite to win the championship from Ireland.
Yeah, and as a team as a whole, when that starts to happen, the morale in the shop really just tanks. That because we had some of that last season where we started out strong, had a win at Atlanta, and then had a couple more strong races after that. And then mid-season, the wheels just came off the bus, and we just, as a whole, we just struggled going into that season, especially with having 4 cars at that time. So being able to string it down to 2 has really helped us kind of regain that morale and competitiveness that we were looking for.
Asgralla in the 3 under fire from 2 good friends, Jordan Madge and Christian Visconti. All 3 of these cars, separate teams, but built right out of basically the same shops, really, all on that pit road section of Mooresville, the 68 of Madrid, working near the Hendrick compound, but also going up to Mooresville to get help from Dark Horse Racing and 1-3 Racing. So all 3 of these guys, allies by friendship and by group chat, but rivals on and seemingly a little bit off the track. We're going to go on board with Chase Gibbons in 23rd. Just in front of him is Brayson Collins, who, as you might remember, that 5 car started in 2nd. Jordan, that's such a massive slip for the 5, who's already down to 22nd after just 15 laps.
Yeah, so looking how the car is driving and hearing the radio, it sounds like he's running really tight right now, which would really affect them in the start of the run, just because if the car starts off tight, it's just going to get tighter. It just doesn't make for a fun day.
Especially at this type of track where the tires just start to wear and you're really leaning on that right rear and that left front. The left front as you enter turns 1 and turns 3, and that right rear as you see these guys, you kind of run a little bit like IRP, where you're running the wall almost. Not necessarily the wall, but you are not hugging that white line at all through turns 3 and 4. You're kind of running the middle or the high line here, trying to get that run off the corner.
And that's one of the things that sometimes as a driver, it just throws you off because you're so used to running right on the line that to run on a mid to high line on a track like this, it takes a second to kind of get used to and really start putting some hot laps down.
27 getting really tight there of Richard Fridge. Richard Fridge has not had the best season as of recent, but this 27 has done seemingly very well here in the past. Season 2 had a top 10 run. Season 3 also had a top 15 run. This 27 car looking for a bounce back sort of ways. His DAF Racing tenure really hasn't been the greatest here, Jordan. Even though he's been at DAF Racing for the last season and a half, it seems like of the 5 drivers that they have had in the full-time helm, with Jerry Chen in the 37 last year, Alexander Rowe in the 37 this year, even with Rowe taking a half season off, I would say, as well as the extended time between season 2 and season 3, he's picked up the pace and really put his foot down quicker than the 27, who hasn't had much time off and has been with the same team, with the same crew chief, with the same guys. Even with a win at Armory Digital, still looking for the pieces to fully come together at the DAF Racing shop.
Yeah, even with the win at Armory Digital, it makes you wonder that how much time does he have at DAF still? Without his running the last few years, it really starts to compound and makes the owner think that maybe we start to go look for somebody else to fill that seat and possibly get better results for the team.
There's Joe Kraus putting a little bumper to the 14 of Gibbons. We saw last week these guys that are in the field. So we have the in-season tournament going on. As it stands, last week we had 38 drivers not competing in the in-season tournament. This week we have 40 drivers. They don't have a care in the world about these in-season tournament guys, and in reality, they're going to make it as hard as possible because, like we saw with Ian McDaniel, was racing Alexander Rowe really hard and also rubbed some wrong shoulders at Iowa the week before. These in-season tournament guys will get physical, but the guys that are racing for points, they're still racing for points, they're still racing for wins, they're racing for things that over the course of the full season matter just as much. Obviously more than this in-season tournament. So as you see Quentin Haley giving the 14 a little bit of room, obviously you want to give him some space, but it's not like these guys are letting the 14 go by, as he's currently having a really tight race car and struggling. You'll see a lot of these guys, if anything, being the opposite of courteous, as we saw last week, as I just mentioned, with Alexander Rowe and Ian McDaniel. Logan Williams currently in 35th. Started 22nd, is minus 13 on the day. Currently your second biggest dropper of the evening. Brayson Collins has fallen just a hair over 20 spots. We see Robbie Gordoff. Jordan, last year, he led the most laps, just couldn't get it done, succumbed to his team owner, Christopher Marnell, at the last second for Marnell to get his first career win after 3 seasons of trying, and that was en route to his championship. Gordoff has just been one of those guys where you start to wonder, when will he become the bride? He's always been the bridesmaid, has a lot of second place finishes, third place finishes, with a lot of laps led, but just hasn't been able to complete the race.
Yeah, and so we look at him this season, though. He's been running pretty good. He's just outside the lead for points just a little bit, but if he does start to kind of compound these really good runs, there's a strong chance he could be up there in the running again. And hopefully this time he could capitalize.
As a former driver, Jordan, what goes on in your head when you've been really good and really consistent for this long and you're running on a championship caliber team and you just haven't been able to get that win, even though you're third in points, fourth in points, you not being able to break through for that win? How tough is that mentally for you?
It's extremely tough. As a driver, there's been times where you kind of wake up in the morning after and you're like, is anything really ever going to change? And there's that, as much work as you put in, as a team, it just really, you can never really get over that hump of a loss.
And definitely, I feel like it'll definitely help with Marnell, who was winless for the first 2.5 seasons of his career, with lots of wins falling through his hands, right place, wrong time moments, where the 23 Marnell will definitely be a good little brick wall to lean on for Gordoff if he does have any concerns or issues. This 48 of Matthew Fastnut started, I believe it was row 17. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it looks like he's made his way well inside the top 20, battling with the 13 and 33 here in front of Santiago Nicolas. So around 21st, 22nd now.
So it's a pretty strong run so far, especially with how worn these tires are starting to get, because I know we are starting to get ready to come up into our pit window. So he's doing a really good job saving his snow for later in the runs and capitalizing on it.
Oh, we got Crash. Oh, that's cars around. That's the 26 of Joe Kraus. Oh, and the 62 of Aaron Giffen, as well as some others. Oh, this is not what you want to see with you in the booth. That's the 97 of Mead as well, with some smoke billowing out, and the yellow's going to come out right as you said. This is when we're going to see caution or pit stops. I think this is when we're going to see people come down pit road. The yellow is out on lap 28 of 80. Let's take a look and see what happened here, Jordan. Oh,
It looks like the 26 was just slow enough for him, and the car of Haley just couldn't get off each other, and they just went right into the inside of the wall.
looks very similar to that earlier incident with the 40 and the 42. Hard impact driver's side for the 97, and then Aaron Giffen nowhere to go for that 62 car. Running his line, and you just see the 97 come up. Oh, and the 17 of Logan Williams right behind him as well. That's going to be massive damage for all the guys involved. We're going to see what appears to be everybody coming down pit road here. The 97 and the 62, as you see the 97, he's going to take his efforts to the garage. Aaron Giffen is taking his efforts to the garage, as well as Joe Kraus. So 3 cars out of the race after that incident. I'm sorry, Jordan, but you just hate to see it, man. I hate that you had to be in the booth for that, but man, that just sucks. That sucks to see.
It's a racing deal. If I wasn't in the booth, I'd probably be screaming on the 31 pit box right now at the crew chief of Haley about that.
Absolutely. Well, and it's a shame that the 31 was the one that probably got the least amount of damage from that one, but the 60 wins the race off pit road, as the rest of the field will follow suit here. Still looking like that we have a lot of Fords up front. We're going to be restarting on lap 32 of 80. Quite a few lapped cars in front, or drivers that are about to be lapped, is with this single file restarting format. We're going to have 4 drivers in front of the leaders here, all of them with damage. Hopefully they don't mess up the leader of Riley Gorse, who has been leading since lap 4. Off away we go, lap 32 restarting, and the 17 is just dropping like an anchor. They all scurry around him heading into turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, as a lead lap car, you really don't want to see that. Your front windshield is like lap car like that is just dropping like a rock going into the corner. You really want to rely on your spotter to make sure that he is out of your way when you're coming up behind him.
17 trying his best to stay on the top side. We're going to continue to monitor that situation. The 6 of Ian McDaniel fighting with the 37 of Alexander Rowe here for second place, as the 60 is going to work his way through this soon-to-be lap traffic. We may as well call them lap traffic. But we see some DAF racing cars entering the fold, entering the Ford stronghold up front. Alexander Rowe and Richard Fridge now into second and third. Zachary Ponce passing our pole sitter of Ian McDaniel. 3 Bones Motorsports cars up front. It's just a shame. The 97 was the one that has also exited the race. So of all the Bones Motorsports cars running, all of them are in the top 5. And look at the 71 of Nathan Stapleton, Jordan. Top 10 run for this single car team in the Powerade Chevrolet. They're looking quite strong here today against the big dogs.
And they are, and as a small team, that's something that you really get excited about because you're finally getting that notion of, hey, we can, even if we're just one car, we can compete with the big dogs and really kind of surprise some people with that.
Another single car effort, Kyle Maybe in the 32. He was leading the points to start the season, win in Atlanta. That 32 car is up front. 3 wide here. That's Chris Lilly in the 1. He's going to shove the 27 up the high side. Lots of gaggle of cars here up front. I believe the 1 is a lap down or on the lead lap. Oh no, the 1 is on the lead lap. So Chris Lilly has made his way from 10th to 4th after the restart. Chase Gibbons, his teammate, co-team owner, just in front of him. Chase Gibbons, the other Toyota Gazoo Racing North America car, currently in 25th, but still has his eyes set on Santiago Nicolas in 21st. We haven't made that big of a deal of the in-season tournament battle yet, but the 83 and 14 have been running basically just near each other. The 14, Jordan reported on his radio, he was tight after that round of that fuel cycle. Getting those tires off was exactly what Gibbons needed. Those tires were completely burnt off.
As you can tell already with this new set of tires on, as he makes the move under the 83 to take the in-season tournament.
That's Ricardo Garcia going off the nose. Driver's side impact for the 41. Off the nose of Santiago Nicolas. No mercy shown from the 83. These two have tangled before, Jordan. They tangoed at, it was Rockingham. The 83 put a bumper to the 41 in the nicest of terms and put them both in the wall after an earlier incident sparked the 83. Not the first time these two have tangled together, and the 41 is furious over the radio. Garcia was running within this top 25 throughout the whole race. On the front straightaway, neck and neck, the 83 and 14 are on board with the 83 now. The 14 just in front of him. The 14 sails wide. The 83 is going to come underneath him. We've got a big battle. Oh, we got a crash in front. It's the 71 and 78.
Oh, that's a classic Ganam. James just talking about the 71 there, and of course he gets caught up in a mess.
Announcer's curse indeed. The 78 of Braden Sigafus, his second incident of the day, unfortunately. The lapped car getting involved with the lead lap driver. Man, that really stings for Braden Sigafus, who is just trying to stay out of the way. Let's take a look at this. Oh, looks like the 13 bounces off the wall. Oh, man, that's a hard lick for those two Chevrolets.
But the 78 really just hit at the worst spot possible, just kind of compounding that driver's side on the wall. That's never a good feeling.
Wrong place, wrong time for just about everybody involved. But it seems like both cars hopefully able to continue, although Sigafus is sounding really winded over the radio. Massive damage for the 13 of Lamar as well, who is sitting inside that top 20. They're going to have to take extended repairs of that. And this caution will help. This will help the 41 of Ricardo Garcia. He's going to come down pit road and repair that driver's side door, who they did not repair it earlier. So it's going to be really helpful for them. Jordan, we're going to be restarting just past halfway here. Lap 44 of 80. Riley Gorse, Alexander Rowe, Ian McDaniel, Reed Simpson, Zachary Ponce. Your top 4 lapped cars underneath. Don't look now, but that 53, or the 52 of the Squarius Greenhouse Jr. has gotten his lap back the hard way. We'll see if he's able to work his way through the field with just over 35 laps to go. 37, 60, or the 6 go way wide, trying to get around the 2 Full Send Racing Motorsports car, or Full Send cars. 4 wide down the back straightaway, it looks like. Oh my goodness. We get it sorted out, but man, we were about to be 4 wide into turns 3 and 4.
There's a chance of that 17 kind of boggling everything up. There's a good chance it could be 4 wide again.
Logan Williams trying to stay out of the way here. Hopefully the 17 with a fair amount of damage here. Not what Logan Williams wanted to have here today. And around goes the 42, and again the 71 of Nathan Stapleton. Another incident, second incident for Nathan Stapleton and Cam Arrow as well. That's going to bring out another yellow here. Jordan, as you were mentioning earlier, these cautions breeding cautions. Look at Reed Simpson making his way into second place in the number 4 Yahoo machine.
Yeah, it's just like we talked, it was just cautions breed cautions that we could have a nice long green flag run, and then these guys get all bunched up together, and getting closer to the end of the race, they just get more aggressive, which just leads to more incidents.
Let's take a look at this replay on the yellow of lap 45. That's Marnell. Oh, the 42. At the 23 kind of comes down. Probably with a little bit of help by the 42. And then the 71. Nowhere for him to go. Bit of a surprise here. Jordan, you mentioned earlier our fuel runs about 30 to 35 laps. We're currently on lap 47. So if you pit here, you'd make it to the end. Am I correct in saying this?
You would be. You'd have to definitely save a little bit under this yellow after you've done your pit stop. But there's a strong chance that we could see some guys here try to stretch it to the end.
So, intriguing strategy from the guys up front, as it seems like the field's going to take 4 tires in fuel. They just took 4 tires in fuel no less than 15 laps ago. But off and away it goes to 60. Oh, Brayson Collins! He's shoving him to his stall, and that's going to run him into his teammate. Oh, that's damage for the 60. What just happened? Damage
I don't
for
even
the leader.
have words.
Brayson Collins, unnecessary hatred from the 5 car. Oh my goodness, and the 60 has a lot of damage. He's going to have to come down pit road again to get it repaired.
And looking from up here in the booth, the crew chief on the 60, he is furious.
Absolutely. The 3 of Kaz Gralla, the only driver to stay out under that yellow. He had just pitted earlier, so a little bit of a shakeup up front will give us a rundown. Kaz Gralla, Reed Simpson, Eris Yuko, Alexander Rowe, Henry Guo, and then Christian Visconti, your top 6. The 1, the 6, and the 32, the 31 make up your top 10. We're going to go 3, 4 wide through off this. Oh, that's the 4, giving a little bumper to the 3. That's not going to work. That sends them around. Kaz Gralla gets turned, and that's going to bring out a very late yellow, but the yellow comes out once again. Malice.
Oh, Kaz did a good job keeping that car off the wall.
Absolutely. Oh, we're wrecking again in the field. I thought this was just going to be a simple yellow. The 32 goes into the wall as well. The 16, the 88, the 42, or the 52, the 53. Oh, we're slipping and sliding all over the place. I thought this was just going to be a spin yellow. It is not. Absolutely not. The caution has come out. We're going to have a lot to digest here. So let's take a look at this restart. The 3 gets sent wide. Just puts, the 4 puts his nose there and spins him out. As you mentioned, great avoidance from the 3. So let's take a look at this other incident here. Jordan, how about you just walk us through?
You can see as we're driving down to 3, looks like Madron just looks almost like he was trying to come to pit road and he was coming in too fast and just hit the grass, and once he hit the grass, he just was all traction, and he just came right up in front of the field.
The 84 of Strokey Banger with a bit of an incident, with a lot of incident there. The 5 of Collins gets a massive lick, massive hit for him. And then the 32 and the 46, the 46 just runs wide. And then the 88 ships the 16 for no reason whatsoever.
You see the one car back there does a lot of damage at the front end after that late hit.
Oh, the 54 hard hit to the outside wall too.
With as much guys that were sliding up on the wall before, I wonder if there was some fluid on the track.
You'd have to imagine so. Track workers are going to come out and take a gander, take a look. Seems like the entire field's going to stay out or come down pit road, except for the 6 of Ian McDaniel and the 41 of Ricardo Garcia. I think McDaniel thinks that he's able to make it to the end. As a lot of these guys gas and go, so maybe McDaniel's banking on more yellows coming out and that he's going to be able to make his way to the end. So interesting developments here, man. What do you think?
I think it's a good call, especially with how many yellows we've had the last really 20 laps. That if you stay on now, you could probably save quite a bit if we keep having these wrecks.
The 48 of Matthew Fastnot also stayed out. So your top 3 stayed out. The 6, 48, and 41. Reed Simpson, Christian Visconti, your leaders coming off of pit road, but it's going to be Ian McDaniel once again taking the lead after lap 56 of 80. Green flag back out. We're back underway once again. The 48 of Matthew Fastnot from the back of the pack to the front. The 6 goes wide. The 48 has the inside line. We're going to have a side-by-side battle for the lead. Coming off it, never mind. I thought it was going to be a closer battle for the lead. Fastnot takes it with a furious command. He's off into the races.
It looks like the 6 coming out of 2 just got a little tight and brushed that wall, and that really killed his momentum going down the back.
All clean through turns 3 and 4. Never mind, I lied. We've got another incident. Oh, upside down goes to 60. And that's the 14.
And that's the 14.
Gibbons is involved. And the 83.
That's a lot of damage.
Lots of damage for the 14. And I presume the 83 is all clean. The 80 with a lot of damage as well. Visconti, last week's winner. Let's take a look at this replay.
Oh, it looks like the 17 car again, just in the way at the worst time.
Oh, and then the 60 comes barreling in after the fact. The 80 is just caved in, front, nose, and center. Here's another look at it. The 17 gets moved out of the way by the 4, and then comes back up the track off the nose of the 51. He's just trying to stay out of the way, but instead just causes such a big pileup. Unfortunate.
Really impressed by the record wins by the 33 and the 77. They did a great job slowing their cars down for that.
Oh. Another hard lick 2 weeks in a row for the 60 of Riley Gorse. Here's a look from the static cam.
Yeah, from the static cam, you can just see how vicious these hits are.
I'm hearing word from the pit box, the 14, the 3, the 80, the 88, and the 60 all taking their efforts to the garage. And the 14 crew chief slamming his headset down on the box. They are done for the day. Man, that is unfortunate to see.
That's really just such a tough break on that. They've had such a Cinderella run in for it to come crashing down like this. And with being this close to the finish of the race is just hard to see.
Matthew Fastnot, the 48. He's going to restart here. 3 wide for the lead, though. Once again, same story, different book. Here's the 51 of Guthrie. Down on the bottom, he's 3 wide with McDaniel. The 51 is going to shove the 67 out front. Use the 67 as a pick. He's going to single file the other 2 drivers out. And that's Michael Guthrie, the 51, to the lead here on lap 62 of 80. Last year's in-season tournament winner and top 10 finisher here at Gateway. He is now leading the race. McDaniel in second, Fastnot in third. That's the 83, of Santiago Nicholas in fourth. I guess nobody told him that Chase Gibbons is out of the race. This 83 is looking for his 3rd win on the season. Jordan, if he wins this race, it would be his first race not at a drafting track. This 83 is hungry.
I'm saying, as a driver, you can win so many races at one type of track, and you'd be even hungrier to get another win at a different track, just to kind of silence the doubters out. They're like, oh, he can only win at a drafting track. If he can win it today, he would really make a statement.
The 41 of Ricardo Garcia gambled early, but he is being told by his crew chief, save. They must have miscalculated or something on their numbers, but that 41 is slipping. They're hoping for the race to go green. They think they'll be able to make it. They're just a little bit short. On board with the 83 sitting in fourth. Don't look now, but the 13 of Garrett Lamar, as we mentioned, big run through the corner. The middle of the corner was Santiago Nicholas. Garrett Lamar with a lot of damage. He restarted that last time in 5th. He is hungry for one. Justin Haley is sitting in this top 10. The 53 and 52, they're up in the mix. That's the 52 of Desquarius Greenhouse Jr. in 22nd, just in front of the 53. This 52 is back on the lead lap and trying to make his way through the field through what appears to be a lot of damaged race cars. That's a lot of rear ends that are been torn off, a lot of tape, a lot of bare bond. It's going to be a busy day for the teardown guys on Thursday after these cars return to the shop.
Hey, it's never fun when a car comes back and it's destroyed. Those guys really are not happy when they see that car come back and it's destroyed that much.
Fly job for the lead. Oh, off the wall goes the 51. Matthew Fastnot to the lead. Oh, big impact for the 51. We stay green. That's going to bottle up the field. Here's Justin Haley. There's Robbie Gordoff, Henry Guo. Look at this battle for second place we've got going on. But the 48 is dog walking the field out front. The 83 is going to get pinned by the 47 here. 3 wide for, I believe that's 4th place. There's the 33, the 27, the 13. Ethan Harrison, where did he come from? We haven't seen the 77 all day, Jordan. Look at these contenders that we have, and these Chevys are showing the late run dominance. 83 bouncing off the wall. Santiago Nicholas being told, calm down, just take it home. The 83 is getting ready to celebrate their in-season tournament win. And they're slipping a little bit now, but that 83 has shown quite a lot of speed.
So it's really impressive to see the 83, just how far they've come this race. Because I know they started kind of mid-pack and they were almost stuck there for a little bit, and they've really gotten that car dialed in for this last little bit of a run.
Michael Guthrie sitting in 3rd place right now. Henry Guo hot on his tails. Henry Guo looking for his first win of the season, as does Michael Guthrie. Michael Guthrie got 2 wins during the in-season tournament last year at Bristol and at Coda, looking for his first win of this season. Hasn't been able to get it done yet. Same with Ryan Barone sitting inside this top 10. Got a win at Sonoma last season. Hasn't been able to get something done. Honestly, not the greatest season for Barone here, Jordan. He's currently sitting outside the top 36 in points.
Yeah, it seems like it's just been a disaster for him. That as good of a season they had last year, and especially with that highlight of a win at Sonoma, that I know they were expecting to be even better this year, and they just really have, bar none, just missed the mark.
Especially for the open races, with the next one coming at Indianapolis next week. The open races, the top 36 in points are locked in with the provisional. If you're outside the top 36, you have to qualify your way in. You have to race your way in on speed. And some of these open cars like Dominic Anthony, Jonah Burridge, even Nicholas Soa, those guys have fast enough cars to be able to race their way into the show and bump some guys out in these open races like we've seen earlier this season.
And as a car that's under that line of points, it really stresses you out going into the week because you don't know if you're going to be able to race on race day.
On board with Ian McDaniel, coming to 9 laps to go. Ian McDaniel looking for his first win since Season 2. Matthew Fastnot looking for his first win on an oval. His first win came last season at the Charlotte Roval. Both these drivers looking for statement wins to capitalize and punch their way through to try and make the second half of the season better than the first. A little bit wide, a little bit tight goes the 48. McDaniel's going to try to diamond the corner. The 6, not enough motor out of the corner just yet, but he's right there, Jordan. 8 laps to go here at Worldwide Technology Raceway.
Kind of as hard as these guys are battling, it makes you wonder: are they even saving at all? Do they know if they're good to the end, or are they going to end up running out? And that 47 might be in the catbird seat then.
Just like you mentioned, the 48 and the 6, they stayed out. They were some of the guys that gambled, them and Ricardo Garcia. The 41, we know for sure, is the 6 going to go to the inside of 48. McDaniel's going to take the lead with here on the front straightaway, as the 48 is going to take it back as the 6 kind of hits the rumble strips there, misses his apex. Oh, yellow's around. The 67's out. Oh, goodness, right as we were saying, this could impact the 41, who was really fuel saving. The caution has come out here, and I think this answers our questions about fuel numbers. With the yellow coming out, we are surely going to have a green-white checkered finish.
This sets up a really good end of the race here. And if you're a crew chief, if you're close to the number, do you even come in, or do you risk staying out and try to gain a couple more spots with the guys coming down in front of you?
We're going to take a look at this replay. Just wrong place, wrong time for the 67 of Sean McKean, who gets sent around as a lap car between 2 drivers that were on the lead lap.
And really good avoidance by the rest of the field, too, after these last few incidences that none of them were calamity corner for that incident.
Absolutely. A single car spin, luckily, we saw there. No drivers came down pit road to try and gamble, except for the 23 of Christopher Murnell, who they diagnosed an issue, and they said, this is too much damage. The fuel cell is ruptured. They're going to have to take it back to the garage, so they will not compete in this green-white checkered start. As you guys know, double file restart, no yellows. Whoever makes this to the checkered flag gets the flag. Checkers or wreckers for the most part. Matthew Fastnot, Ian McDaniel on the front row. 25 drivers that are on the lead lap competing for these 25 spots here. And we're going to see if Matthew Fastnot can hold on, or will Ian McDaniel, Henry Guo, Robbie Gordoff, who will take the lead, who will take the win. Green flag is out. We're off and away again for the green-white checker. Side by side into turns 1 and 2. The 6 goes wide. The 47's right on the back bumper of the 48. The 6 is looking for the arc out of the corner. He's not going to get it. Henry Guo, Matthew Fastnot, big wiggle out of the 83 down in the middle of the pack. That's the 77 of Ethan Harrison coming into third place here. But it's Henry Guo versus Matthew Fastnot for the lead.
Like, gets clear of him off of 4 and just should try to run away from him now.
1 lap to go. Here, sponsored by nobody. If you want to sponsor the final lap, let us know. Matthew Fastnot in hot pursuit of the checkered flag, but it's the 47 looking for his first win of Season 4. Both drivers looking for their first win of Season 4. The 48 pushes wide. Here comes Henry Guo. Could we have a photo finish here at Gateway? Down to the wire, down the start-finish line. It's the 48 of Matthew Fastnot taking the win. Just under a car length victory for Matthew Fastnot, who takes home the win here in St. Louis. What a phenomenal finish. Go ahead.
That was such a great run for them. I know they've been struggling a little bit, and they've been really hungry for a win, so that's great to see them finally break that.
Mudfish Motorsports as a team had 3 wins last season, including a dual win. But Matthew Fastnot won at the Roval last year, is able to take home the victory here today as the results scroll on by through the field. Nice little burnout going for this 48 crew, switching from the 04 to the 48, switching their owner points over as well. Lots of drivers finishing the race under an accident, exiting the race. The Carson Green having to exit the race due to an engine issue. We failed to talk about that earlier, but what a win for the 48 of Matthew Fastnot, burning it down. And his teammate on the other end, Santiago Nicolas, winning the in-season tournament, burning it down alongside him. The 48 getting the 3rd win of the year for Mudfish Motorsports, in the first one at a true oval. Look at this 83. He's struggling to get the burnout done. There he goes. Congratulations to Santiago Nicolas and congratulations to Matthew Fastnot. A true banner day for Mudfish Motorsports. Both cars doing a burnout. 2 of their 3 cars doing a burnout. And you know, team owner Strokey Banger is watching on with pride from the pit road. New change atop the point standings here, Jordan. Garrett Lamar, your new points leader, taking the lead over Christopher Marnell, who didn't have the greatest of days with the.
Yeah, so we knew coming in that Marnell and Lamar were the two guys to beat. And with Lamar having the issues, that they just was able to take the lead.
As we see the rest on the field scroll on by here in these point standings. Still a lot left to play for here with 7 races to go in the season, but for some of these guys that are quite a few points away, and a lot of these guys that are under 36th in points, there's a lot to stress about heading into the next few races, and a lot of things that you're going to have to take down to the debrief room, diagnose, and discuss and debrief here. Any final words, any final thoughts here? Jordan, we had quite a phenomenal day as the highlights are going to scroll on by here across the screen. We saw Ian McDaniel, Riley Gorse, Ford dominance early, but it was the 48 and Matthew Fastnot who was able to take home the win and really command the field for the last 15 or so laps.
Yeah, like you said, we really thought it was going to be a long, strung-out green flag race with the first 25 laps going green, and then once the caution started happening, you knew it was going to turn into a shootout there at the end.
Absolutely. So we did have that shootout at the end. We saw an overtime finish not last season, but the season before in Season 2, where we saw Timothy Sharp take home the win. A lot of incidents coming out of Turn 2 and Turn 4, and a lot of driver side impacts. Jordan, we've talked a lot about driver safety over the past few weeks. Do you think that's anything to make a concern over, or are these cars just as safe as ever and these guys will be able to keep taking these hits? I know the Fab Shop guys aren't going to be happy about all the hits that these cars are taking.
Yeah, so the cars they're designed in the way that the more they crumple, the more that the energy is taken away from the driver. So as bad as it looks with the driver's side being caved in, it's really the best possible outcome just because that energy isn't getting transferred right into the driver.
Absolutely. For sure. We did see quite a few impacts. This one, especially on the screen, the 60 of Riley Gorsh is going up and over. Just not what we wanted to see. Next week, though, Jordan, we're going to have quite a phenomenal show. It's going to be Indianapolis, the first time that we will have a points-paying event at the famous Brickyard. It's going to be a fun one here. An open race, so we'll see a lot of the open entries come in to compete. Not the greatest showing for your Aaron Giffen Racing guys, but how excited are you guys for next week? It should be a fun race for y'all, no?
Yeah, so going to Indianapolis next week is going to be really fun. We're excited to see kind of bounce back from this week and see how good our kind of longer track cars are. I know it's not a plate track, but we feel really good about our 2.5 mile cars.
Absolutely. You guys did have a pretty solid showing at Auto Club earlier this season, so being able to head to Indianapolis next week, that should be a good little show, the first points-paying event. Yeah. Any final thoughts from the booth before we sign off for today?
It was just I think it was a race that people really didn't expect. That I think they were expecting calmness and they got complete chaos instead.
Absolutely. Well, from all of us here in the booth, we want to thank you guys for tuning in and thank you for watching this year's in-season tournament. Don't go away. Tune in next week. We still have a championship to decide. Congratulations to Matthew Fastnot and congratulations to Santiago Nicholas on your in-season tournament victory. I'm saying so long and good night from St. Louis. We'll see you guys in Indianapolis. Hooray. That was good.
Sweet, that wasn't too bad.
No, I